Right then, lads and lasses, how we doing, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Lads and lasses, first of all, it's been around 4 days since I last made a YouTube video. Of course, I do want to apologise. You know it's my mission to be consistent on the YouTube channel, so I do want to apologise, but I went out for the England game. Sunday was pretty much a recovery day from what on earth happened on Saturday. How did we get through every single game? It feels like we're just scraping the barrel, but look, if we're winning at the end of the day, just go do it in the final, lads. No matter how we win, make sure we win that final. But of course, we're all here for the daily news and, more importantly, Newcastle United news. We've got news from Telegraph Football that not only is Callum Wilson set to stay at Newcastle United amid rumours that he's going to the Saudi Pro League, but also Newcastle United were heavily linked with 21-year-old goalkeeper James Trafford. Newcastle United's interest in James Trafford has now ended. We will no longer be pursuing the current Burnley goalkeeper, so without further ado, we'll start off with Callum Wilson. Let's get into it. As always, lads and lasses, if you do enjoy the video, hit the thumbs up button and of course subscribe if you want you, and let me know down below. Although Callum Wilson, it's reported that he's set to stay at Newcastle United, would you not rather sell the 32-year-old? Without further ado, I'm saying that a lot now, aren't I? Let's get into the news. It's been reported by Telegraph Football that Callum Wilson is set to stay at Newcastle United. The 32-year-old still has Saudi Arabian interest, but as we all know, even Eddie Howe says that he wants the striker to stay at Newcastle United. He's made it clear that the money we'd get for Callum Wilson, if we were to sell him, we couldn't get a like-for-like replacement, which is exactly what Eddie Howe said, to of course replace Callum Wilson. Now, he is right, let's all be real. Callum Wilson is turning 33 years old, he's got 1 year left on his contract, and the main problem, he's an injury-prone striker. But onto the back of that, when he is fit and when he does play, he's a fantastic striker. He knows where the back of the net is, and of course, although very aggravating with his injuries and very annoying sometimes when we needed him, he has been a fantastic servant for Newcastle. If we were to sell Callum Wilson to Saudi Arabia or even West Ham, where he has been linked with, I would say we could only get something like £10 million for him. Even £15 million, in my opinion, I think is a bit too much, and clubs, certainly Premier League clubs, wouldn't want to take the risk on Callum Wilson, because you know you're getting nowhere near a full sort of season out of the 32-year-old. It's also been reported by Telegraph Football that with the arrival of Greek international goalkeeper Odysseas Vlachodimos and of course 37-year-old John Ruddy, Newcastle United's interest in current Burnley goalkeeper James Trafford has now ended. We were heavily linked with the Under-21 European Championship winner, but of course, even though Martin Dubravka is expected to leave the club, having 5 goalkeepers as it stands and then bringing another one through the door would be a little bit ludicrous, wouldn't it, lads and lasses? Who on earth needs 6 goalkeepers? But of course, Martin Dubravka does look like he will be leaving Newcastle this summer. James Trafford, if we were to go out and buy a goalkeeper, of course, we were only speaking about James Trafford. He's young, he's won a European Championship, and because he was relatively cheap at the time when we were undergoing financial fair play restrictions. Now that we don't have them financial fair play restrictions, and if we do want to go big on a goalkeeper, look, I've cut James Trafford some slack, and I certainly will do as well. He's nowhere near as bad as what some fans were making out, but if we have the money and the freedom and the expression to go for a big goalkeeper, James Trafford now, with that, you know, sort of pressure on our shoulders that's off our shoulders now, I would be going a lot bigger than James Trafford. Georgi Marmadashvili, of course, the current Valencia goalkeeper who's had an outstanding Euros, although being knocked out by Spain in the round of 16, I believe it was. This guy is unbelievable, not to mention he's 23 years old. He's an unbelievable shot stopper. On the other hand, he's not very good with his distribution, he's kicking, his placement isn't great, but in my opinion, I don't care what he does with his feet, just keep the ball out of the back of the net. It may be old-fashioned, but in my opinion, it's certainly the best fashion. And as I am recording right now, I have just realised that if Newcastle United don't want to pursue James Trafford anymore, and of course, like we've said about 10 times now, Newcastle United already have 5 goalkeepers, we won't be bringing in a number 6 yet again. That also tells us that Newcastle United do not want to get any goalkeeper in this transfer market. There'd be no point, and of course, there'd be the pointless signings of John Ruddy and Vlachodimos. We wouldn't have signed them if we do want to bring in another goalkeeper. So I must say, Marmadashvili, as of right now, must be off the cards for Newcastle United. That's certainly the kind of hint that I'm getting in my head. Of course, I'm not saying that anything's true, but that's kind of what I'm getting. I don't believe Newcastle United will go for another 5th goalkeeper if Dubravka leaves, or just a 6th goalkeeper now. And something else I actually noticed, we've all made some jokes before that Eddie Howe just loves English players. Lloyd Kelly, James Trafford, Aaron Ramsdale, Emile Smith-Rowe. Trust me, the list goes on. But of course, James Trafford, many people were saying that we were only going to sign him, or we've only been linked with him because he is English, with our new director of football, Paul Mitchell, of course, who, as we know, is an absolute expert of signing players from vast different countries. That could all now change. The English fetish could now be off the door. But of course, Paul Mitchell, as we said in the last video, has signed the likes of Danny Olmo, Christopher Nkunku, Heung-min Son when he was in Germany, Kieran Trippier. Honestly, he's signed some fantastic players, and I know we've not really been active in the transfer market as it stands right now. Of course, Lloyd Kelly, Lewis Hall on a permanent, Vlachodimos and John Ruddy. But trust me, it might be a little bit quiet now, but the club know exactly what they are doing, and I actually think we may have someone lined up. The club are just waiting for their chance to actually show who we have signed. So there we have it, lads and lasses. Trust me, in the transfer market, although it may be a little bit quiet right now, this club has my full backing. Eddie, Amanda, Murdad, PIF, everyone has my backing. They know exactly what they're doing, and next season we're going for European football and we're going for the Champions League. Without further ado, lads and lasses, I've been Geordie Josh. As always, hit the thumbs up button if you did enjoy, subscribe if you are new. I've been Geordie Josh. Go and enjoy your day, people, and of course, see you all tomorrow.